Hey guys, so you guys are getting 3 videos today. You're getting an Easter egg video, a review, and then this extra Hawkeye Easter egg because Hawkeye came out yesterday and I was not home. Otherwise, I would have filmed this. Alright, so let's talk Hawkeye episode 3. If you haven't seen my episode 1 or 2, I do have a 2-in-1 combined video from last week. Go check it out, and then you can come check out here. Anyway, I'm going to give more of a review. There weren't that many Easter eggs per se, but let's talk overall video because, wow. I'm really enjoying this series. The episodes are about 45 minutes ish long. It does say like 57, but a lot of that is credits. There have not been after credit scenes. I have been checking, but there's been nothing, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. We'll deal with it. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. You know, MCU, they tend to be doing that. Anyway, so yeah, wow, go watch it because it's good. Lots of action. Character arc with Maya, who right now we know is the villain. There's a little bit more of a character arc with Kate Bishop. Little bit with Hawkeye, but not as much. We're seeing more emotion from Hawkeye, which I fully enjoy. He's really taken Kate under his wing, and Kate's kind of taken him under her wing, which is kind of cool. The whole scene with the car chase was hilarious. And I felt like the way that they connected during that and like slightly after was really cool in the terms that Hawkeye, his hearing aid broke, but everything that he was saying to her and like he couldn't understand her, which is kind of funny, was very validating for her, and I think she really needed that, and I like that. I like that he was kind of upfront about it. There's not much more to go on. There's a lot of action. Like I said, not much Easter eggs. There was like one or two where Hawkeye was explaining that Black Widow had killed Ronin, and Ronin... So Black Widow killed Ronin and Black Widow is dead, right? We know that from the timeline. Black Widow died, right, from in Infinity War / Endgame. And then we know for sure from the Black Widow movie, she is very much dead. But Maya made a good point. He is protecting Ronin. He knows who Ronin is. I trying to rack my brain about who was Ronin. Didn't we... Like, I know that they've mentioned Ronin before, but who is Ronin? Like, who could it be? Right? And, so Ronin is really an alias for... used by multiple characters, right? And was adopted by Echo, which we haven't met Echo yet in the MCU. But so okay, now that I'm looking at this is quite interesting. I'm looking at the comics. So Ronin was first used by Echo in the Echo Marvel comics by Maya Lopez. She was the first one to take on the Ronin identity, and then it was actually Clint Barton in 2007, the New Avengers issue 27. Then it was Alexei Shostakov, where he took it on for a little while. Then Eric Brooks, and then Bullseye. Now, we haven't met some of these characters yet in terms of MCU, but it's quite interesting that according to the comics, and we know that this is kind of going close to the comics, that Clint Barton was Ronin, at least for a while. Now, in the MCU, in the film Avengers Endgame, Clint Barton becomes Ronin to take vengeance on the criminals who survived the snap. He uses the tracksuit mafia before he is recruited by Natasha Romanoff to rejoin the Avengers in undoing the snap. So Maya Lopez, by the way, is the person who's the bad guy in terms of Hawkeye. Quite interesting, am I right? Or am I right? So I honestly didn't remember that until I read it just now for you guys. So yeah. If you guys remember that, after the snap, so in the end of Infinity Wars, and then in Endgame, right? Clint Barton lost his family, and he kind of went crazy, and I think he was in, I don't know if he was in Japan or China, but he was in somewhere else, far away, Asian country, and he was killing off the bad guys as Ronin. And that's when Natasha found him and brought him back and was like, hey, dude, you can't do that. Even though they're bad guys, you can't really kill bad guys. It's not really good for your conscience. So, yeah, quite an interesting development. And then Maya Lopez is the leader of the tracksuit mafia. Actually, that makes way more sense why they're all wearing tracksuits. Sometimes things just click as you're researching it. So Maya Lopez is the one that's trying to find out who Ronan, the original Ronan, is, because the original Ronan killed her father. And so Maya thought it was Kate Bishop because she saw Kate Bishop last with the tracksuit. Anyway, so that's quite an interesting development in terms of research. Let's just move on to the Easter eggs because there's quite a bunch. Well, there's not a lot, but there's a few. So let's see them. Hawkeye episode 3. So no, there really aren't that many Easter eggs. It was a really good episode, I will say that. There's some links to previous episodes, and this is really setting up Maya Lopez's history. We have the 59th Street Bridge, and we have the Easter egg to the Rogers the Musical, which is a reference to the war that happened in New York, the first Avengers, all that jazz. So that was in the first episode, they saw it, right? That was the musical. That was based off what really set off Kate Bishop to look to Hawkeye to be her hero. Whew, that was interesting. I am so ready for episode 4. There are only 3 more episodes that Disney Plus is going to release in this first season. We shall see if there's a season 2. Supposedly, Hawkeye is the lowest rated Marvel series so far. Not a lot of people are getting into it, which I don't understand because it's very good. Very, very good. And I love, maybe it's that New Yorker in me, I love that they are showing different parts of New York, even the outskirts. The outskirts. But funny enough, they did not show where I used to live, but they kind of referenced that neighborhood a little bit, which is kind of funny. However, in Spider-Man, I forget which one, they do show my old neighborhood, which is kind of cool. When I do that review, I will, of course, tell you guys, because I think that's fun. Alright, guys, I will see you very soon in our next adventure.